Hey guys, welcome to another book review video. Today I'll be reviewing the sequel to Triple Moon by Melissa de la Cruz, Double Eclipse. This book is the second book of the Summer on East End series. The first book was released last year in November, and this book is actually out in stores today. So the series pretty much focuses on twin witches Marty and Molly Overbrook, who are the twin daughters of Troy, aka Thor, the god of thunder. And yes, there is a mention of Chris Hemsworth and the whole hammer and everything like that, but he doesn't really have to deal with any hammer or anything like that. He just really controls like lightning and thunder and like storms, everything like that. In the first book, it really dealt with Molly and Marty having to live with their Aunt Ingrid and her human husband Matt, and they weren't really crazy about it because they are really living the rich lifestyle, and that's what they're used to. And basically what they're doing in the first book is trying to clear the names of a murder. And it turns out that they were actually bewitched or controlled to make it seem like they were the ones that committed a murder by pushing two people in front of a subway. I received this advance copy about a month ago, and I was all ready to read it until I found out it was the second book in the series. And I had actually never heard of the series, so I downloaded the first book onto my Kindle and I read that in a few days before I started reading this one last week. Honestly, I'm going to say that this series is really different. It's not something I can really give 5 stars to because it all seems really fast-paced and quick. I'm not exactly crazy about Marty and Molly and their attitudes because they are really so focused on the superficial things in life. Even after, having to deal with, saving their family or saving each other's lives or caring about each other because they're twin sisters, they still like to focus on the superficial things in life, and that's something I'm not really crazy about. But it is a good series to read because I like to read things about witches or powers or magic or anything like that. There's a lot of jealousy and sexual tension in the first book when it comes to boys and the twins. And the twins think they're seeing really good guys, and it turns out the guy's actually one guy. So it really causes some tension between the girls because they think there's just a lot of betrayal. This book, the second book, was actually not the best because in this book they actually get to know their mother, who is like a famous tennis player. And every time I read something about their mother, like there was interaction between Molly and their mother or Marty and their mother, I thought their mother would be like this bad character because before they meet their mother, their dad comes to the East End and he's almost killed by this big whale who tries to crash the plane. So it's really just odd reading that, and then, in comes their mother and everything's so happy. Molly grows closer to their mother than Marty does because Marty doesn't really trust their mother because they've never seen her or heard much about her except that she was a giant, and really in the book she's only like 6'2" or 6'1". So their mother starts to try and really buy their affection, but she really only cares about Molly. In the first book there was trouble with the shapeshifter, and we have that again in this book, aka the killer whale, which is actually a shapeshifter. But I'm not going to reveal too much in case you guys do want to read this series. But there's just a lot of problems with a shapeshifter, and it causes a lot of problems and tension with the family, especially Molly and Marty. There is another cute guy that comes into play in this story, and his name is Rocky. He comes to live at the East End with his dad, who he doesn't really talk to, so it's something that the girls can connect with him. And he shows an interest in Molly, and whenever Molly's with her mom, she can't seem to get in touch with Rocky or Marty or anybody else in her family. So there's a lot of trouble, especially when Marty starts to think she's developing feelings for Rocky. So of course with twin sisters there's jealousy, and there's also a thing called the reawakening where their powers start to get more stronger and things happen without them actually wanting them to happen. So there's, a bunch of lights bursting and buildings tearing apart if they get mad, all because of this reawakening. And the girls also start to have dreams where they're in this tunnel and they see their mom in a distance trying to warn them to stay away from the end of the tunnel. And this is actually in the big house that's featured in the first book, Fairhaven. There's a line in the big house in Fairhaven where it takes them to basically the underworld where the souls are at, and it's a line that divides the real world and, you know, their actual world. So there's a lot of difficult elements to this series. That's the one thing that really bothers me about this series so far, is that there's just so much going on. That's the one thing I'm really not crazy about with this series, is there's so much going on and there's so much left hanging, and there's all these open spaces that can be filled in with so much more detail. For example, this book ends on a rather weird note because some things happen at the end. I'm not trying to reveal too much, but some things happen at the end that leave you questioning, like, what's going to happen. Of course, there's going to be a sequel, but then the last line is like a joke, and I kind of read it and I was like, is that all? Like, there's no more questions asked, there's no answers to be given. Clearly this is going to be a long series because there's a lot that has to happen, and I will give Melissa credit. It is a really good series. I like how she plays it out, and even though the characters, like, they focus on superficial aspects, they are still good characters because they know that it's important to have each other and that family's important. So that's why I still give it like 4 out of 5 stars in Goodreads, because it's still a good read. It's a good series. It has potential. And I think Melissa should know that, you know, for the next book, just fill in a lot more spaces, give more detail. And I think it could really turn into something really good. I mean, Melissa has been writing for years, so she obviously knows what she's doing. And she's written a lot of young adult reads, so I think she knows how to appeal to the network of young readers our age. If you guys didn't know already, if you go on my blog, theclockworkbibliophile.com, there is a rafflecopter going on for someone to win one of 5 hardcover copies of Double Eclipse. The contest only has 9 days left, so I would enter as quickly as you can. Also, soon I will be posting an exclusive excerpt from the publisher and the author herself on my blog, so look out for that. And just remember that this book is in stores now, so go pick up a copy. If you haven't read the first book, download it on Kindle. It's cheap, it's a good read, and I think you guys will like the series. Follow my Instagram, follow my Twitter, like my Facebook page, and check me out on Snapchat, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!